Hey, welcome everybody to our next episode of Blockchain in Aviation. And I'm Mark Schultz with DigitalAircraft, and I'm looking forward to bringing to you today an interesting mix of all the things that we've been talking about. If you've been following our series in blockchain, you'll know that at the very beginning, at the very first series, I had a guest, Luís Santos, and he is with the company Earhart, and he helped us to kick off the series of Blockchain in Aviation by focusing on some fundamentals and helping us to understand some of the details. This was nearly 8 weeks ago that we did this. And I promised him that we would bring him in toward the end and that we would be able to focus more on what the good things they're doing with their solution. But let me tell you just a little bit about what we're going to see today. You see, we've been looking at blockchain, we've been looking at Web3, we've been looking at NFTs, we've been looking at cryptocurrency and wallets. And one of the things that the Earhart solution does is it brings all of those things together to help us really grasp and understand the value of how we're going to address business problems through the implementation of this technology. So we're going to be talking about how we use blockchain technology and all those different things. And I'm going to go ahead and bring him in here. And my guest here today is Luís Santos. Luís, welcome. How are you today?
Hi, Mark. I'm doing great. Thank you. Thank you very much for bringing me to the show. And congratulations also to your work and efforts to bring all this precious information for the aviation ecosystem.
You know, Luís, I have had more interest in this series than probably any other series that I've done. Well, 2 years ago, I did a summit where I had, tens of thousands of people that joined it, but that was a focused summit. But as far as series are concerned, there's been more people interested in blockchain right now than really anything that I've done in the past. It's really a pretty exciting subject, isn't it?
Yes, of course. And I think blockchain will revolutionize what aviation will do and how everything is managed in the next years. And we are working and we are doing our share to help to transform the aviation ecosystem.
Yeah, I really agree with you. Hey, as we get started here, could you tell everybody just who you are and what do you do, just really briefly, please?
Well, my name is Luís. I'm from Portugal and based in Portugal. My current profession is professor from university, and also a researcher in several topics. And I have a background in aviation, so I'm only university professor for more or less 2 years. And before that, I work in aviation industry. Well, I still have I'm still attached to the industry, but I have 16 years of experience in the aviation industry. I work for some operators, for maintenance management, for also for aircraft manufacturer. So that's my background.
Yeah, I think you have a really nice mix of background in aviation, the manufacturer and MROs and also operators. And it really has given you a good foundation, I think, for, starting of the company, that you did, Earhart. And we're going to get to that, in just a minute. Hey, Luís, I like to engage our audience. And I always like to tell all of you out there who are watching is that if you would share this live stream, we would really appreciate it. It helps us to get the word out. And I know there's been so many people that have been interested about this blockchain series. So help us get the word out to them. And then that I love to know who's watching and I like to know who's out there. If you would drop just a comment in the comment box down below and tell us where you're watching from. That's always really interesting to be able to know where people are watching from, and we'll give you a shout out. People have already started to do that. So we have Sherder-san who is in India, and I've seen you here quite a bit before. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate the people that are constant followers and who have followed this series all along the way. It's really helped us to really have consistency in the message, and it's been a lot of fun just to meet a lot of new people. It's been great. So if you're out there, I'll keep recognizing people over the course of the broadcast. But give us a shout out. Tell us that you're out there watching and let us know where you're coming from. Luís, when you helped us kick this broadcast off almost 2 months ago, you helped us by helping us understand some of the fundamentals. And what I realized over the course of the series that we did is that many of the fundamentals you helped us kick off were integral parts of the different people's solutions that we talked about. And then it's interesting how I come to find that when I learn more about Earhart, that many of those things have been incorporated into this. And so I think it's going to be a really good discussion today as we go forward and do that. But Luís, where we like to start is we like to start by addressing really the business problems that are out there in the industry, because I really think it helps put context on the conversations that we have if people know sort of what it is that we're talking about. So I think we have a slide that we can throw up there really quick. And so as we talk about some of the key industry challenges that are out there, we picked out a couple of them that Luís is going to address. And it's really the problem with records that exist out there today, fake parts, cybersecurity attacks, inefficiencies of digital systems, and then missing logs and records or history on different aircraft records. So Luís, could you help us by understanding the business problems that we're really faced with out there today? Let's just go right into the first one.
Yeah, well, regarding records adulteration, we see this in a lot of, well, fortunately not a lot, but it was quite easy for me to do this slide. Unfortunately, it is something that some people or some companies, most people, do to take advantage of the complexity of the aircraft or the aviation ecosystem logs complexity. So people often take advantage of this complexity to fake or to adulterate records in their own advantage. And also it was for me quite difficult to see that there are in the industry a lot of records, unreliable records. During my professional experience, I found a lot of operators that came to make maintenance and to perform maintenance, stating that I need to confirm this part number, I need to confirm if this SB is implemented or not, I need to confirm this, I need to confirm that. So that made me thinking, so what can I do to make this more reliable? And all people also lost records because aviation industry is still much on paper-based maintenance and records. So yeah. we it's still very difficult sometimes to keep track of all that amount of papers.
I think this is definitely an area where we need to improve, and so it presents tremendous opportunity. Definitely. I think that, Luís, I think the next one on the list is, I think we're talking about, let's see, it's fake parts. That's also a big problem in the industry, right?
Yes, I got amazed with this number. That's the source is the Aerospace Industry Association, and in these 4 years that was analyzed, I don't have more recent data, but according to some papers, the problem got worse, so not better. And because aerospace market, it's very profitable. Some industries try to take also advantage of this. So that when I found these numbers, that make me thinking, so wow, this is a very huge number. In just 4 years, 28,000 incidents, or more than 28,000 incidents related to fake parts. Yeah, this number is astonishing, Mark.
It's definitely unacceptable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. So what's the next one that we have there on the third slide? So, cybersecurity. I know we see a lot of increasing challenges in cybersecurity. What are you seeing in cybersecurity? How are we finding problems with cyber attacks?
Well, cyber attacks occurs on daily basis on the aviation ecosystem. And if people don't be prepared, they can lost or have their records compromised. And if you have that data compromised, it's very difficult to rely on their records, on that records again. You have a huge amount of effort to try to back to birth of all that information. So what we did in Earhart, it's to create a digital, somehow a digital twin or digital twin features in blockchain that make it immutable. So this helps the aviation ecosystem to fight this problem. And the problem just last year cost 20 billions to the ecosystem, to the aviation ecosystem. This is a lot of money. And people from the industry need to start thinking, what is the current technology that can better protect their records to make it immutable?
Yeah,
so
Luís, I think that's so important, because I think you told me about an example, a few months ago, where there was an attack, and if there's an attack on a company, it really affects all of us. What was that situation you were telling me about?
I remember the Russian authority, a group of attackers, of hackers, wipe out all their data. I think it's 40 terabytes or 45 terabytes of data. So the Russian authority was back to the Stone Age. They lost all the records, all.
Yeah,
so
and that's dangerous for all of us, when that kind of thing happens. Yeah. Well, what's the next one that we have? I think we have inefficiencies. What kind of inefficiencies are you seeing that can be potentially addressed by blockchain?
Well, basically the lack of reliability of connecting ERPs. So I have one ERP, my neighbor can even have the same ERP that is mine, and if I send my airplane to its maintenance, the systems does not communicate, don't communicate with each other. So it is needed to have a lot of people typing information back and forth, copy pasting information. This copy paste of information can make errors, can delay a lot of the process. So
it's really amazing to me that we're so far along, with using digital in the industry today, and we still have a lot of those manual operations that exist. It's people don't realize how much manual operations and how much paper there really is out there. And so we're really needing to make some advancements in the industry in order to be able to create better efficiencies. It's really needed.
Yes, and the solution that we are developing addresses also this. So people can place information on blockchain and connect it between different ERPs.
Yeah, I think the fifth one that we have is missing logs, and what that really means is not just logs but records and things like that, historical records. Can you tell us what you're talking about there?
Sometimes some time ago I deal with aircraft's phase-ins and phase-outs. That's very complicated for the lessor, it's complicated for the new operator, and even more complicated for the old operator. And again, there is lack of connectivity, there is unreliable records, and there are a lot of missing paperwork. I work with one aircraft that lost all their repair logs. So basically we need to undo and do all the repairs again. And that cost to the operator almost $500,000 to do all that, all the repairs on the airplane, because they lost everything. So we are talking about a lot of money that the industry are wasting.
Yeah, Luís, I've been involved in other, records operations like lease returns and things like that. And, we all know that the records need to be accurate or be verified. And so sometimes they'd have to send people out to the aircraft to verify, a component or a serial number, or if they don't have really accurate records of what maintenance has been performed, they actually have to re-perform certain maintenance because they can't verify that it was actually done. And so I can see how you're telling me that this is a huge cost to the industry. Really a big cost.
Yes, hey, and of course there is the economic side. and also the economic side from the real cost of doing everything again, and the economic side of having the aircraft more time on ground.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, exactly. Both of them. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, hey, listen, everybody watching today, I wanted to just tell you that we thought one of the best ways for you to understand how these business problems can be solved is actually to show you a little bit of an example of the Earhart solution product. And then we're going to talk about what's the value of it and what people would use it and why you would use it. So let's take a quick peek at what the solution really consists of. Can you tell us in these next two slides, Luís, on what is the scope of the solution that you're going to show people in just a minute?
Yes, we have a modular approach. So we build models for airworthiness organizations, for operators, for maintenance. Well, we have 13 models programmed. We have 3 models already working or almost ready to be working. And we have this modular approach. So, but basically, these all models are almost cover almost the entire aviation ecosystem. We have lessors, we have authorities, we have airworthiness organizations, we have maintenance, we have operators. So we have a lot of models to cover all the scope.
And then I think
so
our
what
next
we do,
I think our next slide kind of shows the scope of it. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So, and what we do is to bring up this solution to protect everybody's data, to be somehow a digital twin, a reliable digital twin, because the data will be immutable, to connect the data between all these stakeholders. Because if I am maintenance, I can connect the data to the operator, and the operator can connect the data to the lessor, for example. And we connect all this data together. We protect the data and make it traceable, ensures the back to birth of all the data. And we build all these features to comply with the rules of the regulators, because we help them to comply all of this.
Yeah. I think one of the best ways for us to explain to people what it is that you're doing is just show them the application and then talk about how that actually solves, one or more of these business problems that we're talking about. So maybe we could actually just show the application. Luís, are we in a position where we'd be able to bring that up today?
Yes, I can make here a small example. The data that everybody will see, it's bogus data, so it not belong to anybody. So it's data that we use for testing purpose only, and we can share the data. So this is our app working, and you have several things that you can do. Here you can have you can see the data that you have in the blockchain. You can upload the data. You can verify the data. You can sign up transactions. Now, because I have the way to can base and place it on the blockchain. Here you have a test account. So we have a lot of tests in this account, but basically it's very easy to operate this. You don't have to have any special knowledge on blockchain. You don't have to have any special skills on IT. This is just very, very simple to operate. Basically, we work with all these formats. So all these formats can work to choose the information that goes to the blockchain. And also, we are developing data that you can upload the entire file, whichever file you choose. So let's choose a file. So let's make it the life limit parts, and you will see here again this data is it's not belong to any aircraft. It's bogus data. So basically, what we do is selecting here the data. Basically, it's easy to see from. You select the header first, and then you select the content, basically, and goes to K2.
So what you're doing here is you're basically taking an Excel file and you're going to import it into the system, right?
Yes. And now I'll say, what is this? So this is the LLPs from aircraft and XXXX, and reference field here. We say we select the field that will not be encrypted, because all the information that we put on the blockchain will be encrypted. This field will not be encrypted, just to improve the query for the data. If someone wants to query for search for a specific part number, will be easier. But we are also working on a version that you can encrypt everything. It will be harder to query, but still it will be possible. In the description, you can say that this is the LLPs from aircraft and XXX at C2 check, for example. And basically, you continue and you put your password. And now it's communicating with the blockchain.
And what blockchain is it?
Here you have the transaction hash. We use Null's blockchain. It's very complete, it's very good, and it's very cheap to use. Actually, what we did here cost less than a fraction of a US dollar cent. So it's very, very cheap to use. We have people that are using it, and it's very, very cheap to use, and also it's reliable, because everything will be there and change and immutable. Yeah, then you have.
I think from our previous conversations, you had explained to me that, okay, so you just took an Excel spreadsheet made up of LLPs, and then you uploaded it to the blockchain and went to the Null's blockchain. Now, what did it create? I think you had told me previously that it was creating an NFT, right?
Yes, this creates an NFT with this data.
And help me understand. See, now we've been talking about the different technologies. So we've talked about Web3. You just showed us a Web3 technology where you uploaded it to the blockchain and it produced an NFT. And you also, in order to be able to use this product, you had to have a Null's wallet, and that had to be connected to the system. And so where is the NFT stored then?
The NFT is on the blockchain. Okay, so the NFT is on the blockchain, and the NFT now belongs to the people who create this with this data. So there is now on the blockchain an NFT containing the LLPs for the aircraft and XXXX.
Okay, and why would you have created an NFT with that kind of data? Help me understand how that solves the business problem that we're dealing with.
Yes, this is a great question. Because NFT, you can send it, you can send to someone else. That NFT, for example, in aircraft redelivery, you can send that information to the new owner. And also, and most important, is because you can trace the NFT. So if we are talking about maintenance data, we can do the back to birth of all the data using the NFT. It's very easy to do that.
So help me with like one of the specific business applications that we talked about, like for example, missing logs or records that are not traceable. Now let's bring this full loop together. Now that you have the history of the part or component and you've published it to the blockchain and it's in an NFT and now you can do something with it, how does that help me with the missing logs problem that I have?
Well, because with the missing logs, if now that you have it on the blockchain, it's like you create a digital twin of a certain part of this part. For example, in this case, the LLPs, the life living parts. So it's like you create a digital twin, an immutable digital twin. And you can now rely, if everything goes bad on your system, you can come here to Earhart and recover with 2 clicks. So you don't lose the information. It stays on the blockchain. It stays on your Earhart account. If everything goes bad on your ERP, you can go over there and download and upload it again to your system. So it's a digital twin. It's an immutable digital twin. And you have all the back-to-birth properties and traceability properties of all this data.
So let's try and take this down to one more level of understanding is that now what can I do with that data? You can say I can have it available to me, but how would that data interact with other systems, or how would I exchange that data? Under what circumstances would I exchange it? Help me understand the actual use of that NFT, to be able to create some value from it.
Yes, also a great question. Of course, there is the intrinsic value of this NFT, which is the information and the information that lies on this NFT. That it's very important to the owner. If the owner decides to sell the aircraft, for example, to another, it's very easy to send this NFT to the new owner. And for example, if we are talking about reliability data or maintenance data, there are some parts of data that can be monetized. There can be, nowadays, people have very good information on their systems. And that information can make use to other companies. So we also develop a marketplace of information where industry can place information over there and sell it. So basically, if we are talking about information that I required, I can go over there and try to find if it's available to buy. I can give a good example. If I own a maintenance center and I'm starting to do maintenance on a Boeing 747 and I don't have any history of it, I can try to buy that information from other maintenance shops that already have that information. And of course, there are still some analysis to do, but I have already a good knowledge of what are the most required parts, and I can stock them. And this also brings value to this tool because avoids or try to compensate long aircraft ground times waiting for parts, for example. And
everybody has an existing IT portfolio, or they have an ecosystem of IT systems out there today. Help me understand, is that if I already have an ERP, how does this solution fit into my IT portfolio or my IT ecosystem?
We in Earhart, we are not trying to replace any ERP. ERPs are very good, and we are not trying to replace them. We are trying to complement them with a blockchain connectivity. And this is because what we do is grab the information from the users. The users decide what kind of information they want to put in the blockchain. So it's all the users' choice of what they are doing and what the information they want to place in the blockchain. So this is what we do. So we are not trying to replace the ERP. We are trying to complement and give them ability to connect the information with the blockchain.
Who are the ideal customers of this solution today? Are you in production? I mean, who should be looking at using this kind of technology in their operation today?
Well, we have already one company using it daily. We have several others testing, including one major aircraft manufacturer.
Okay, so then tell me, like, for example, if I'm an aircraft manufacturer, or if I'm a overhaul, or maybe a manufacturer of a component, tell me how I would use this data. What's the value of this data?
Well, if you are an aircraft manufacturer and you have all the interest that you start to build the history of your aircraft in the moment that you finish the aircraft build up. So when you finish the aircraft build up, you start, you place on the blockchain the aircraft manufacturer data. And the operator can then start building the aircraft history and the operation in this tool. And what we do is to bring the aircraft maintenance all together, the aircraft operation all together, and with all the connectivities that they have. So what we have planned is to bring all the models. We have the license models that people performing a work, and they have their license validated in the blockchain. Also the same for pilots. If you have a pilot and you are flying the airplane, you have the license and the training validated in the blockchain. But I think what the lessors will love this tool, because on the aircraft handovers, it's when the lessor have knowledge about the status of the aircraft, and it's a lot of work for them. They require huge teams. So if they use Earhart to do that, every aircraft update, lessors can have the information, or can have the knowledge what is happening with the aircraft on a daily basis, the operation, the maintenance. But again, everything needs to be agreed with all the parties, but we developed that tool for them. So every time an aircraft is updated, the lessor knows about it and knows what was the update.
Yeah, that's a very costly process, and they have a valuable asset that they're trying to maintain its value. And so having a historical record and knowing what's happening on a regular basis, and when the aircraft gets returned, they need to know what the status of the aircraft is. And so I can really see how this process, how the blockchain can really help facilitate that. Luís, when we started this series, quite some time ago, I know that many people out there weren't really aware of all the different ways that blockchain can be used in aviation. And if people were even involved in blockchain, they were thinking of cryptocurrency, or they were thinking of NFTs being pictures that were on the internet. And I think that we've understood so many different ways that the blockchain and NFTs really can be used going forward. Let me ask you this: what's the roadmap for your product? Where does your product go next?
Well, as I told, we have a modular approach. So we are currently have 3 models working, marketplace also working, and the roadmap is to build all all the models, that the remaining models. Then is to bring up industry to use this. We want very much that industry starts using this solution. We see a lot of value in it. The people that are working with us already, the industry that are working already with us, they already take advantage of the properties of blockchain. And what we want to do is to help aviation to be more reliable, less costly, and more profitable for everybody, because this tool allows to do just that.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I really like the idea of how you've brought together so many different pieces of blockchain technology into this solution. Like I said at the start of the broadcast today, is that, you know, you're using Web3 technology by using blockchain, and you're using wallets, and you're using NFTs, and all the different features and aspects that come with that. I really think that it embodies many of the different things that we've talked about, you know, for weeks now. Luís, if people want to learn more, what's the best way for them to learn more about Earhart? How do they get in touch with you?
Well, they can contact me through my LinkedIn. They can go to our website. I don't know if you can put it on the background. That's it.
Yeah.
And they can contact us through the social media, or also I'm always available in my LinkedIn, so they can just step by and say, "Hi, Luís, I want to try Earhart solution. Let's have a meet." And that's it.
I understand that people can make a quick application to get access to the product, right? Online.
Yes. If you go to our website, and there is a button on the top that's go to app. You need to have a registration, but you can register on the application, and that goes through a QIC process, and to see who is trying to register on our platform. But it's very simple. We don't ask many questions, I promise. But the best way before to do that, you can contact me, and I will help everybody to all through this process.
Yeah. So let's put his name up again on there real quick, so people know where to get a hold of him on LinkedIn. And so there's Luís Santos. You can get a hold of him on LinkedIn. And listen, if you're watching out there today, there aren't many companies you can go to and ask for permission to take a look at the application and try it out. And I was able to get on there, and it was pretty easy. There was some steps you had to go through. You have to create a wallet. I mean, it's blockchain. You have to create a wallet. You have to be approved, you know, security, things like that. But it's really, really very interesting. So I would highly recommend that if you're interested in this kind of technology, reach out to Luís and start a conversation. Take a look at what they're doing on the blockchain. And I just really think it's interesting. And if you're at a place in your journey where you're trying to learn more, or if you're trying to understand what this actual product is and if it applies in your business, there's a lot of different ways that it could be an advantage to you. You could get value out of reaching out and talking to him. So that's really great. Luís, any final thoughts? Why should people consider Earhart over anything else that exists out there today?
Well, because we are live. We have companies already working with us. We have many important companies testing our product right now. And we are still building. And more important, we are delivering what we say that we are going to deliver. So many more features will come, and that will enhance the properties of this tool.
Very good. Very good. Listen, thank you so much, Luís. I really appreciate it. Hey, before I let you go, I'm going to tell people where they can watch replays and things like that. So we're on episode 22 of Blockchain in Aviation, believe it or not. We've made it through 22 episodes. We have 2 more to go this week. But if you want to watch replays, we're available all over the internet. The best place to do that is to go to YouTube, and it's right there, the 4th one down. It says youtube.com, DigitalAircraft1, and you can go watch the replays of any of them that are out there. And let me tell you what's coming up this week as we continue to go forward. On Wednesday, I have a summary. I've had so many people ask me is that I don't have time to watch, 22 hours worth of blockchain in aviation. Can't you give me a summary? Well, the answer is yes, we're going to do that. If you want to have the short version on Wednesday, we're going to power our way through 90 seconds on each episode and what we've learned from each one. And so if you want to get a good overview of what's going on in the industry within about 30 to 40 minutes, that's going to be a good place to do it. And then on Friday is going to be our final episode. And the reason I'm excited about this is because we have a guest from Modul University in Vienna, where they're doing an initiative called the City of Blockchain in Vienna, Austria. And we're going to be visioning on the future and where are things going next. So that's going to be a great conclusion for us on how blockchain will continue to be used going forward. Hey, one more thing I want to invite you to. Upcoming here in September, which is just next month, just a couple of weeks from now, on September 13th, I am actually going to be speaking at the Aircraft IT conference in Miami on day 1, and I'll be at the last slot of the day. at 4:15 Eastern time. And I wanted to invite you to come, where I'll be talking about the benefits of Web3. We'll be talking about blockchain in aviation, NFTs, and all those different things. And in 1 hour, if you're attending that conference, you will have the opportunity to be able to get a really good, solid understanding of what's happening. You don't have to spend 2 months listening to our live broadcasts. In 1 hour, if you're there at the conference, I'll help you get a grasp on what's happening in the industry. But Luís, I wanted to tell you, I cannot do this on my own. I need valuable, knowledgeable people like yourself that will come on our broadcasts and to share what you're doing and be willing to share your knowledge and your expertise. So I just wanted to really thank you for, being willing to participate in not one, but two, of our broadcasts that we've done. I appreciate your contributions very, very much.
No, thank you for your effort and doing all this marathon of blockchain and Web3 content. I follow almost all of them, and I'm planning to the ones that I didn't see to have them to see them up to the end of the week. So congratulations for your show.
Thank you very much. And I really appreciate all of you as followers, and we're going to continue to bring you valuable content, as we go forward. This has been an incredibly active series. We've had so many people that have been interested in blockchain and blockchain in aviation. And so we definitely are continuing to offer and provide value through these broadcasts. Keep an eye on some special broadcasts that we have planned for this week as well. And then I'm continuing to do an entire new set of broadcasts as we go into next week after that. So just keep your eye out and you'll see the exciting things we have coming up. Luís, thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Thanks again.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yep. Everybody, thanks for following today. Fair winds and following seas. Have a great day. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on a future broadcast. Bye for now.